Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets from a sold-out Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. The Thunder lead this best-of-7 conference semifinal series 3-2. A win tonight, and they will host Minnesota Sunday on ABC in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Starting lineups brought to you by T-Mobile. Same 5 for the Thunder, led by MVP frontrunner Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lu Dort, who was the fourth quarter hero of Game 5, All-Star Jalen Williams, Holmgren, and Hartenstein, the double bigs for OKC. And for Denver, Jamal Murray, under the weather, but giving it a go. He has 6 career 40-point playoff games, the most in franchise history. They might need that tonight. Christian Braun, Michael Porter Jr. battling a shoulder injury. He has struggled. Aaron Gordon, 2-game winners in the postseason. And of course, the Joker. Denver trying to force a Game 7 for the 3rd straight series. They beat the Clippers in 7 in the first round, lost in 7 last year to Minnesota on this court in the conference semis. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City trying to get to the conference finals for the first time since 2016, get a step closer to their first NBA final since 2012 and their first championship since 1979 in Seattle. Aaron Gordon has been one of the breakout stars of this 2025 postseason, averaging 18 points per game in the playoffs. Murray with his first touch. Jokic setting the screen for Dort. Gordon's 3 short. Rebound Williams. Jalen Williams to Holmgren. And now Shai Gilgeous-Alexander drives. Hartenstein with the floater.
Well, that penetration at the top forces that collapse, and now all passing avenues are open to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Easy decision to find Hartenstein on the baseline.
Jokic, 240, 15, 5 games, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. First player in NBA history to have 2 of those in a single series. And the mismatch, but Dort, who's one of the best defensive players in the game, got the steal. And now SGA down court. Dort hit 3 fourth-quarter threes. Can't pick up where he left off here, though.
And you wonder if, Jamal Murray came off on that first ball screen. He had an opportunity to get into his pull-up. He didn't. Led to a turnover on that possession.
Murray for 3. Got it, and a foul. Chance at a 4-point play for Jamal Murray.
Well, I don't know who's more relieved to see that. Jamal Murray, Adelman, Denver Nuggets, or the fans, because a lot of question marks around Jamal Murray coming in. How did he feel? Really struggled shooting the basketball when that lead was disappearing in Game 5. Comes out, knocks down his first 3, an opportunity to turn it into 4.
Yeah, he was just 10 for 27 from the floor, 3 for 13 from 3 in the Game 5 loss at 28 points, but an inefficient night. And a lot of those misses, as you said, legs in the 4th.
And here comes the 1-3-1 zone that Denver has employed more than at any time since David Adelman's been here, he told us. In Denver, it's the best way they feel like to defend OKC, but they give up a wide open look in their first possession in that zone.
From Jalen Williams, and now Murray. Here's Gordon, corner 3. Again, misfire. Jokic tried to tip it to himself, and out of bounds off Hartenstein.
Well, the points per possession defensively for Denver far greater in this series playing zone than man-to-man. But when you're going to have a simple ball screen lead to a pull-up jumper, there's a breakdown.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander caught sleeping. Christian Braun sneaks inside of him for the easy 2. Nice pass. Gilgeous-Alexander to Dort, the high flyer. Lu Dort, former undrafted player, now in his 6th season in the NBA. His first basket of the game, 2nd assist for Shai. Now you got Murray with Holmgren defending him. Murray, nice move off the bounce. And Jamal Murray, a hot start. He's got 6 points already.
Set that back screen to get the switch and was able to operate in his sweet zone with the pull-up, but Lou Dort hits another one, and Denver fans feeling that because Lou Dort turned that game around the other night in Game 5.
Murray, as Dort hits the deck, missed the three, and one and done possession for Denver. And Jalen Williams passed everybody all the way to the goal. Poor defensive transition there by Denver.
Yeah, it cannot happen. You cannot get into jog mode defensively and transition with a team that really is like a track team when they get that ball off the glass or off of a turnover. Jalen Williams saw that and took it all the way.
Jokic with the spin and the basket. Like a dancing bear in there with Chet Holmgren defending him. His footwork, incredible.
Hasn't had that many opportunities deep in the post with one-on-one coverage in this entire series.
Dort missed the rainbow. 1 point lead for the Thunder. 3.5 minutes gone by. Both teams shooting better than 55% from the floor. Shot clock down to 7. Jokic, what a pass to Brown, and great recovery. Holmgren with his 12th block of the series. Gilgeous-Alexander out to Jalen Williams, and knocked away by Christian Braun. Loose ball, Murray's got it. Murray will take it at Shea. And a foul. Murray back to the line. Second on the Thunder, first on SGA.
A lot of action here back and forth. This is Jokic again. You just don't see him against this team get deep position like that. That's going to be easy pickings no matter who's guarding him. This you do see a lot of. Chet Holmgren over 2 blocks a game in this series. He was lurking along the baseline, timed that up perfectly. Christian Braun thought he had an easy dunk.
Murray, 88% shooter at the line here in the playoffs. Alex Caruso checking in. It was an offseason move the Thunder made after falling short of the conference finals last year, losing to Dallas in the conference semis. So they trade Josh Giddey. They get Alex Caruso for this very reason, because of his leadership, a champion with the Lakers in 2020. And that has really been on display here in this series in particular.
And the toughness and defense are always there with Alex Caruso. What's been nice for OKC these last 2 games, and the 23 points that he's given them, most of them coming at key times.
Averaging about 13 points per game in the series. Rounded out by Williams. Jokic with the rebound is second. He's taken just 1 shot. Murray, most of the offense, 7 points. Porter, he's missed 11 straight 3-pointers. So he's got that wrap on his left shoulder, which he hurt early in the Clippers series in the first round. SGA yet to take a shot. And fouled by Jokic. First on Denver.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic here gets himself in a tough spot. That high ball screen, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander operating one-on-one, and he gets him right there. It's easy call right across the right forearm, and I know Jokic probably like to have that one back. You don't want to commit a foul on a play like that. If you're going to use them up at the rim.
A missed free throw by a 90% shooter in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The 2 head coaches, David Adelman, you saw there. He's the interim coach, replaced Michael Malone, who was fired on April 8th. And Mark Daigneault on the other side in his 5th year, coach of the year last year. So 1 out of 2 for Gilgeous-Alexander. It's a 1-point Thunder lead, 4.5 minutes in. Murray trying to get free. Caruso on him. Murray past him, hangs. Scoop and score, Jamal Murray. 9 points out of the 13 for the Nuggets.
A great awareness on that catch and swing through. He just immediately put it down and got to the rim.
3 no good from Gilgeous-Alexander. Dort hustling, saves it, but Christian Braun has it. Braun gets past him, drives, feeds it inside, and a little sloppy possession in transition. But Gordon left wide open. The three's good.
Aaron Gordon, really the only supporting cast member that has shot the 3 well in this series.
That's his first basket of the game. He's shooting 44% in the series. Great hands, Gordon. Got the steal. Ahead to Brown, who soars and flushes. Tonight's driven performance brought to you by Dunkin'.
And what a start for Jamal Murray. And you talk about relieving some of the pressure on a team facing elimination at home. Comes out, first shot at a three, knocks it down, plus the foul. Great job here probing, using that creative dribble to get back to a comfortable pull-up jumper. And I love this one, the swing through and attack. Once he sees that Hartenstein is lifted, no shot blocking at the rim. Jamal Murray has come out and given this crowd and his teammates a big boost here early.
So 9 points, 2 assists. In 11 previous elimination games, Jamal Murray has been nothing short of spectacular. He has 3 40-point games and a 50-point game in a closeout situation. 7-0 Denver run over the last minute to lead by 6. Midway through the opening quarter, Cason Wallace is on the floor now for the Thunder, second-year pro out of Kentucky. So Dort on the bench, Caruso. Short on the three, backside board, Aaron Gordon.
And even though Caruso has hurt them with three-point shooting, that's a perfect defensive possession for Denver. Attack the strong side, force that ball to the weak side with a contested three.
Shot clock inside of 10. Here's Jokic, taking just one shot, made it. Now on the move, Jokic gets in the lane. He's 2 for 2, 4 points, 2 boards and an assist.
Denver now into the 2-3 zone, a different version that they like to play, and this got away from them a little bit in the fourth quarter of Game 5.
Corner three, Wallace got it. That ends a drought of 3.5 minutes for the Thunder without a basket.
Yeah, they have a harder time in the 2-3 getting out to the three-point line when there's been penetration.
Porter, Caruso flies by. There it is. Michael Porter, who had missed 11 straight threes, swishes that one through. Gilgeous-Alexander working on the other end on Brown. Great bounce underneath to Hartenstein. Jokic played good defense. Steal by Porter. Another turnover by the Thunder. Jokic has Caruso on him. Jokic swatted away by Williams. What a great defensive play after an incredible catch by Jokic. Wallace missed the layup. Rebound Brown. But a foul is called here on Oklahoma City. That's 3 team fouls.
Now, both teams very active defensively here early. You see Jokic cuts off Hartenstein on the baseline. The deflection. Michael Porter Jr. very aware to get into that passing lane. And this is Jokic tries to one-hand this because he was holding off his primary defender with his left hand. Just tried to finesse that up quickly, but what a weak side play defensively.
Looked like a good block to you?
Look clean.
Meanwhile, Cason Wallace picked up the foul on the other end, his first. Denver ball up 8. Getting leads hasn't been an issue. Denver led for a good part of Game 5, but ended up losing. Brown's three, no good. And Holmgren with a rebound. No shots yet for Holmgren. That's his first board. Jalen Williams for 3. And Jalen Williams, who has not been an offensive threat in this series, averaging only about 3 points per game, knocks down that one.
Talk about picking your spots. He's averaging 3 points a game, but he's 50% from the three-point line. So he selectively takes shots, but he takes shots that he knows he can make, and he's done it at a high level in this series.
Brown drives, fires to Murray, fakes the pass, and hits for mid-range. Jamal Murray, 11 points, 4 of 5 from the floor. So you got both Jalen Williams on the floor for Oklahoma City, along with Wiggins, Wallace, and Holmgren. Empty possession with Williams missing. Jokic on the floor, trying to take advantage of the Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the bench right now. Entry pass, Jokic. Jokic puts it in.
That is beautiful awareness and a perfect delivery by Christian Braun. As Jokic went block to block, that ball had to be thrown to his right hand or it's going to be a turnover.
10 assists on 11 made baskets for Denver. Way off was Wiggins. Offensive rebound by Williams. Now Wiggins is able to hit the floater on the baseline.
One of the few second chance opportunities for OKC. Denver's defensive activity has really been on point and sharp here at the start. You can't give up those second chance opportunities.
Christian Braun wide open, and the threes are falling tonight. Denver had been missing a ton of open looks throughout this series, but they're going early on here. 10-point advantage now. Trying to force a Game 7 Sunday. Jalen Williams no good on the three. Pinballs to Brown. High-scoring opening quarter. Not just for this series, but based on what we've seen throughout the playoffs. A reach-in foul called on Jalen Williams. His first and the fourth on the Thunder.
Nikola Jokic doing what he does best, creating space in the post and then the patience to finish. And Christian Braun, who has really struggled in this series, gets everybody on their feet. Denver trying to save their season.
Upcoming national TV schedule brought to you by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. Game 6 at Madison Square Garden on ESPN tomorrow night. The Knicks try again to take out the Celtics and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. ABC Saturday, WNBA tip-off, Vegas and the Liberty, Indiana and Chicago. Go to NBA.com for more. Let's listen to the sounds of the game with David Adelman, Denver interim head coach.
You just got to win all the loose balls. We know they're going to tip balls out down here. We're trying to defensive rebound. So if you're not part of the play, go ahead and explore the elbows, explore the three-point line. The ball's going to be there for you. Be ball strong.
Adelman's 8th year on the staff. When Michael Malone and GM Calvin Booth were let go in early April, it was an obvious choice to go to Adelman, a coach that all the players have great respect for. Julian Strawther off the bench along with Westbrook and Watson, and Strawther, second-year man out of Gonzaga, misses a three. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back on the court. He drives and is fouled and will go to the line. He smells weakness, they're going to say on the floor, but he's so good at smelling weakness. When he sees a switch or a defender that he thinks he can take, it's on.
Yeah, and he just needs a little bit of an angle. He creates all the contact on that. But Strawther is sliding, moving, so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the best we have in this league, over 8 free throw attempts per game in this series.
And he thought that was a shooting foul, but a side out of bounds. Shot clock down to 6. Wallace, pocket pass, Wiggins lost it. That's the 5th turnover by Oklahoma City, just 1 for Denver. Here's Jokic driving, swings it, tried to get it back. The pass by Westbrook, broken up beautifully by Jalen Williams. Wallace lays it in with the left hand.
And the difference between those two entry passes, the one that Christian Braun threw earlier was extended enough out away from the defender that Jokic could catch it. Westbrook did not give Jokic enough room on that catch, leads to a turnover.
And they're going to call a foul here on Case and Wallace. You saw the elbow swing from Westbrook, but Wallace was moving and there was no contact to the head.
You see Westbrook throws that too much to the center of Jokic's body when his defender is coming around the right side of him. That ball has to be thrown out to the left hand. If he does that, Jokic turns. He's got an easy layup at the rim.
That's the first on Wallace. They had called a foul on Wallace earlier, Tim, but they changed it to Hartenstein. So that's 2 on Hartenstein. We'll keep an eye on that. Russell Westbrook, year 17, 36 years old. Of course, started his career with the Thunder. He struggled the last 2 games, just 3 for 19 from the floor, but he's also had some great moments in this postseason.
And one of that group of 3 guys that I was looking at coming into this game, Russell Westbrook, Christian Braun, Michael Porter Jr., have struggled so mightily from the three-point line. You've already seen 1 go in for Brown, 1 for Michael Porter Jr. Yet to see Russell Westbrook take a 3, but they're vital to Denver's spacing.
Gilgeous-Alexander finds Holmgren, steps back, misses a 3, and rebound Porter. Oklahoma City 3 for 10 from behind the arc so far. Westbrook racing up the floor. Pass batted away by Wiggins out of bounds. Jamal Murray getting rest. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes he can go. In the 10 minutes played so far, it looked great despite being under the weather. 11 points, 4 of 5 shooting.
Making shots is great medicine. There's no question about that if you feel under the weather.
Jokic battling with Jalen Williams. Westbrook on the fall away, not even close. And Jalen Williams rebounds. Holmgren Fans here thought he traveled, gets to the rim and lays it home. And Oklahoma City back within 7 here in the final minute of the opening quarter.
Yeah, he may have shuffled his feet on that initial catch and jab, but that is incredible skill and balance to come out of that spin, practically falling down and using that frame to get all the way there.
Westbrook again driving, turns it over again. Numbers if they hurry. Williams throws it down. Holmgren, nice pass. And here comes OKC.
Turnovers to this point, not a factor, but here in the last minute or so, a couple that have led to opportunities for OKC.
Westbrook misses a 3, and Oklahoma City can hold for the final shot. Peyton Watson comes out to greet SGA. 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Screen from Wiggins, and a foul is called here. That's the first in the last 2 minutes, so it's going to be a side out of bounds.
The turnovers in this series have been a massive factor. Oklahoma City has twice as many points off turnovers. Denver really did a great job over the first 10 minutes of taking care of the basketball. It's gotten away from them here toward the end of the quarter. A couple of those by Russell Westbrook.
Christian Braun checking in for defensive purposes here. Caruso will inbound it. 5.8 seconds remaining. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Brown defending, bodying as SGA goes to the left hand and banks it in. What a shot by SGA with a second left. An 8-1 run by the Thunder to close the quarter. They trailed by 10 at one point, but back within 3. Murray with 11 to lead all scores. Balanced scoring for the Thunder. 3-point game in Game 6 after 1.
Look good, but she don't got no ties. I walk through, walk out with the size. Let me know what the path.
Check out tonight's winning ingredients delivered by Chipotle.
Well, Denver was the lowest volume 3-point shooting team in the NBA this season. OKC has forced them out of their comfort zone, and Denver has struggled, but tonight, getting help from that 3-point line as the Nuggets battle to try to force a Game 7.
Welcome back to the conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. We're on the sidelines with Mark Daigneault. Mark, during the first time out, you told your guys we need to play with more force. In what way?
Just both ends of the floor. They're going to let us play tonight, and we got to be more physical. We got to be more forceful. The more physical, forceful team's going to win.
How were you guys able to disrupt them offensively in the last final few possessions?
We stacked good possessions. We finally got them under control. They were hot early. For us to be down 3 after the way they shot it, the way they played is really good.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Katie.
And Katie, a turnover. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hurt his hand. He's in some serious pain as Peyton Watson hangs and finishes.
Well, that was great defense by Denver. Started individually. Russell Westbrook just playing Shai one-on-one on the left wing and then help on the weak side to force the turnover.
The bank shot won't fall as Gilgeous-Alexander again continues to pull on his right hand. Gordon doubled on the baseline. Out to Watson. He'll let it fly. Missed the 3.
And I tell you, Nikola Jokic on the bench right now, and his rest it's a direct correlation between how this group plays offensively and how long you can let him rest.
And Shai still shaking that hand. He'll go to the line here for 2 free throws. You see Westbrook swiping at it, and Jamal Murray picked up the foul, his first, and free throws for Gilgeous-Alexander, 1 for 2 so far.
That's just great defense by Westbrook. He had him one-on-one on an island on that side of the floor, and does a great job of making him pick his dribble up, playing the basketball, and ended up in a turnover in the weak side by Caruso.
The last player to win MVP and make the finals was Steph Curry in 2016. We'll find out about whether Shai is the MVP here soon when the voting numbers are public. And a win tonight would get the Thunder 1 step closer to the NBA Finals. A foul on Williams on the other end, battling with Gordon. So as a shooter, that right hand, that shooting hand, what's the biggest impact that can have on your shot?
Well, it's just finishing your shot more than anything else. It's going to be okay on the catch and as you go up to release. But when you extend and flex those fingers on your follow through, that is when it's most likely if he has jammed something or hyperextended a finger.
Westbrook there with the putback off the air ball from Watson. Of course, Aaron Gordon had the putback heard around the world in the first round to beat the Clippers and help them win that series in 7 games. He also won game 1 with a 3-pointer. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, 4 points so far, 2 assists. Pull-up jumper, good for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Second basket.
Makes that one, immediately grabs that hand after the ball goes through, but that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting to his favorite spot on the floor, that mid-range 15-footer.
Westbrook turns it over, stepped on the sideline.
And this has to be contained better. You got 2 guys on the point of attack. When that screen is set, cannot allow Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to escape around the outside of that, because you're not getting any more help in that possession. He gets to an open pocket, and that's almost automatic.
Really looking to score based on the guys he has with him on the floor right now, and SGA has the last 5 points for the Thunder. Williams hit a 3 earlier, hangs, can't bank it in, got it back, and fouled. Good minutes off the bench for the other Jalen Williams. His 3rd year out of Arkansas. Murray picks up his 2nd foul.
And Aaron Gordon down there by himself against 2 Thunder offensive rebounders. Tried to secure it, but gets it knocked out of his hand, and OKC with another second chance opportunity.
5 points, 3 rebounds for Williams. Missed the first free throw. WNBA tip-off 25 Saturday afternoon on ABC. The Liberty taking on Las Vegas at 1 Eastern time, followed by Chicago, Caitlin Clark, and Indiana. Coverage tips 12:30 Eastern with WNBA Countdown. Dave Pasch, Tim Legler, Katie George here in Denver for Game 6. Thunder up 3-2.
Christian Brown just checked into the game, and I think the normal rotation would have been come back in for Strother. He actually gets Russell Westbrook, and Westbrook looks surprised by that, but he had 3 turnovers, a couple of bad shots, missed a free throw. I think that they want to go in a different direction right now to settle down this offense.
And Murray staying in the game with 2 fouls. Shot clock inside of 10. Gordon spinning right into Williams. Shovels to Watson underneath. Pump fake and foul. Free throws for Peyton Watson.
One thing about Westbrook, look, that just didn't go his way. His first time on the floor, and they shortened his minutes. He looked genuinely surprised. He touched his own chest like 3 times. Like for me. But one thing about him, I will say, he's going to stay in the game mentally, and he's going to bring the same energy the next time he checks in the game, and he can make plays to help you win just through effort.
Checking with Katie.
Yeah, Dave, David Adelman said sometimes it looks ugly, but you can't replace Russell Westbrook's energy and the way he can be effective defensively. If he's not making shots and affecting our spacing, Adelman said it's up to me to take him out. But I'm not going to change a 17-year Hall of Famer by asking him to be really conservative or not be aggressive defensively. He has to take chances. That's who he is, and that's what's led him to helping us win games in these 2 series.
Look, we all know what the negatives are, but there are a lot of positives, and we've seen that throughout a great career for Russell Westbrook.
As David Adelman described it, and it's true, he said he has won us games in the postseason. And he's absolutely right, and he will be needed, I believe, in this game to get this to a Game 7.
Murray penetrating, missed the fall away. Gordon trying to get the loose ball, and a foul inside in Oklahoma City as Peyton Watson had his arm hit, trying to get the rebound. It's on Gilgeous-Alexander. That's 2 on Shai. 3rd team foul. He is side out of bounds here for Denver. Gilgeous-Alexander is going to take a seat. Jokic still on the bench for Denver right now.
3 minutes here into the second quarter.
Caruso and Aaron Gordon have to be separated. Before the inbound pass, Mark Davis, the crew chief, steps in. Does not look like there are going to be any post-whistle infractions. The official settling things down.
Well, you're talking about 2 of the toughest dudes we have and competitors. It doesn't matter the size difference. Both of these guys compete, and right here, they're just trying to stake their claim for position for this inbounds pass.
Gordon looks like he's playing defense, but he's actually the one trying to get the ball. Caruso knocks it away.
And the one thing I'll say to Christian Braun, if you're trying to inbound it right here, that ball's got to come up in the air. Aaron Gordon's got a massive size advantage.
What a play by Jalen Williams to steal the inbound pass. Holmgren in transition, flies in there, and slams it down. Timeout, Denver. Nuggets having all kinds of issues just getting the ball in, and the Thunder take advantage of the turnover.
Well, after 10 minutes of taking care of the basketball, Denver's gotten sloppy here. Late first quarter, early second, and nobody converts turnovers into points better than OKC.
Tonight's Power Forward brought to you by Nissan. The Thunder trying to get to the conference finals for the first time since 2016. They'll be there with a win tonight, and they would host Minnesota in Game 1 on Sunday. That was the last year Durant and Westbrook played together with the Thunder. Oklahoma City led the Warriors 3-1. Golden State stormed back to win. Durant ends up going to Golden State next year. Zero current Thunder players were in the NBA. Chet Holmgren on the left, he was 14. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the middle, he was 17. And Jalen Williams on the right, he was 15 the last time the Thunder were in the conference finals. This is the second youngest team ever to be a #1 seed. Last year, they were the youngest. They ended up losing in the conference semifinals. They're trying to get one step further. They'll face the 6th seed Minnesota Timberwolves, who disposed of Golden State last night, if they can win this game. Jokic back on the court for Denver. Minnesota in the conference finals for the second straight year. Murray misses. 0 for 2 here in the quarter after 11 points in the first. OKC can tie it with a 3 on this possession. SGA still on the bench. Corner 3, good. Cason Wallace ties the game at 37. He's 2 for 2 in this game. In his last 2 games in Denver, he's 5 for 5 from 3.
It's going to be minimal shot opportunities for Cason Wallace. He's got to be ready to toe up those corner threes when Denver commits 5 guys to the paint like they just did.
Hartenstein, good defense. He's got 2 fouls, has to be careful. Jokic puts it home. 8 points, 4 rebounds for Jokic. And a foul about 25 feet away from the basket on Strother. That's 2 on him.
Yeah, Jokic understanding there's some foul trouble in the front line. He's going to get in there, and he just muscles Chet Holmgren out of the way. And then once he gets his hands on that close to the rim, you know what's about to happen with it. This is Wallace. You got to be ready. It's a good contest by Strother. Wallace gets it off in plenty of time.
3rd team foul on the other end on Denver. 3 in Oklahoma City. Euro step by Holmgren. And he's able to get that one to go, his 3rd basket.
Yeah, and I think if you're Nikola Jokic on that play, you can't worry about the pull-up jumper by Holmgren. It's just not a shot really in his arsenal. He wants that, the jump stop, get you to lean in, and then he's going to step through, use that 7-foot frame to get to the rim.
Brown in the corner with a shot clock at 7. Jokic at the foul line. Hartenstein challenges it. Jokic with his 2nd miss. Thunder can take the lead. They led by 3 early on. Elbow jump shot, not close from Jalen Williams.
Denver's pace in the half court has slowed down. They came out, everything was crisp and sharp. The ball was hopping, the screens were better, more freedom of movement. Right now, OKC starting to bottle them up.
They have just 8 points here in the second quarter, Denver. Watson got free underneath. Great defensive play. Caruso with the rejection. Holmgren in the open floor, and he blew the layup. But they're going to call a foul on Jokic, and that's 2 on Nikola Jokic. Holmgren gets to his feet and will shoot 2 free throws. See if Denver challenges this.
I don't like that call. I just don't think there's enough contact there. Jokic stops. He tries to avoid the contact. There's barely any that takes place on that play. It did prevent Holmgren because he was worried about Jokic hitting him from really extending and finishing the play. But I think that's the definition of a touch foul.
Both Jokic and Murray with 2 fouls. Missed free throw by Holmgren. Aaron Gordon checking back in, but Jokic will stay on the floor. David Adelman electing not to challenge that, wants to hold on to that challenge for later. Game 6, Thunder leads 3-2. Holmgren missed them both, but kept alive by Caruso. And Williams tried to save it in the backcourt and does to Wallace.
That's already just 2 plays by Caruso on both ends where you see his value.
Wow, Wallace showing great speed. This is one of the fastest teams in the league. And it was there on display as Oklahoma City has its first lead since it was 12-10. They're going to call a foul on Hartenstein. That's his 3rd. Not going to be in the act of shooting, but a decision here from Mark Daigneault.
Yeah, he's just trying to jump out right there. And again, not a lot of contact on that either. It looked like his hand was on top of the ball, and then he sort of backed away. Knows he had to be cautious, but you have to be more cautious than that if you've got 2 fouls in the second quarter.
Legs, you heard Mark Daigneault say to Katie, they're going to let us play. Well, that was in the first quarter, not in the second. A lot more whistles here in this frame. Another Denver turnover, alley-oop, Holmgren over Jokic. And the lead is 4 for Oklahoma City, its largest.
Yeah, Denver's half-court defense has been outstanding in this game. It's their transition defense where all of the damage is being done by OKC.
Jokic on the drive, Murray throws it away. Turnover is a problem for both teams right now. Brown with the steal. Porter, long 2, swishes it through. A welcome sight for Denver fans. Michael Porter Jr. with a couple of buckets.
And a great decision to up-fake that to get an 18-footer because Chet Holmgren was ready to extend and contest that.
Pull off Williams, hit that one over Murray. Jalen Williams with 6 points now in the ball game. He had 32 in game 3, a loss here in overtime. Denver led the series 2-1, but Oklahoma City has won the last 2 games. Murray, you have to score here in the quarter in about 6 minutes of action. Shot clock at 4. Great defense, Caruso. Murray off balance, missed the shot. Alex Caruso, a major factor on defense right now. Williams, great move against Porter. Reverse layup, no good. Rebound Jokic. He'll look to push. Ahead to Brown. Cuts through 2 defenders and lays it home. He split the bigs. Hartenstein couldn't pick up that 4th foul.
An example of Christian Braun at his best in the open floor. The strength, the athleticism, able to split 2 defenders to get to the rim. Few players in this league are as good as Christian Braun once he gets ahead of steam in the open floor. Much needed transition opportunity for Denver.
Welcome back to the NBA playoffs presented by Google. Conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. Let's take a look at SGA's night so far, Tim.
Yeah, he got off a pretty good start. Not only playmaking, also getting into the zones he likes to score. Very creative there with the left-handed finish, but then this happened. Russell Westbrook reaches in. You see him grab the hand. He's only taken 1 shot from the field since that, and it's right here. Makes that mid-range pull-up.
But he's back on the floor now. Jamal Murray getting a breather. Got to wonder about Murray's energy because he was on fire to start the game, but has not scored since the first quarter. He popped up on the injury report mid-afternoon with an illness. Woke up this morning sick. They started to give him fluids. And he's trying to go here tonight to keep this season alive. Inside Williams got the bank shot. Caruso with the assist.
Really good offense there against that zone. They get it to the corner, and then the weak side flash catches the back line of Denver really off guard. That's too deep to catch it on a flash in the paint.
20 bench points for Oklahoma City in this game to 7 for Denver. Jokic underneath to Westbrook, and he gets hammered by Williams. That's 3 on Jalen Williams.
It's just really good offense and execution right here. Denver in that zone. You get the high screen, goes to the wing. When this ball goes to the corner, that top screener just comes right down the lane, and Michael Porter Jr. a little bit late on the rotation. In a zone defense, more important to anticipate cutters, even more so than man-to-man.
Friday night on ESPN, it's Game 6 between Boston and New York. What a win for the Celtics after Jason Tatum suffered the Achilles injury the previous game. Can the Knicks close it out? The Pacers await the winner of that series. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern Time.
Feels like for Denver, this last 4.5 minutes needs to be heavy. Nikola Jokic offensively, only 6 shots in the game. Hasn't taken a 3 or a free throw. And you got to watch how you close quarters against OKC.
Gilgeous-Alexander banked that one in. He thought he was fouled on the play, didn't get the whistle. Thunder with its largest lead at 5. Both teams are in the penalty situation here in the final 4 minutes of this first half. Gordon off the Jokic screen, gets it back to him, and Jokic was grabbed, and that's 3 on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
SGA able to split those top 2 defenders. There was some contact from Michael Porter Jr., but it's great concentration. He got that same exact call earlier in the game against Strother. Banks that one in, but here you see him just holding on as Jokic gets that screen and seals him. SGA knew he was compromised, did all he could to prevent the layup.
So you talked about the lack of free throws. There's the first one. If you're Mark Daigneault, how do you handle this? You've got 2 starters and one of your top bench players all have 3 personal fouls, and you got 4 minutes to go in this first half.
Well, listen, that's where depth comes into it for Oklahoma City. Now, they don't have a whole lot of depth up front, but they have repeatedly and regularly played 11 and 12 guys in regular season games. So Mark Daigneault has dealt with this before, and very few teams have the defensive depth to do it the way OKC does.
They've used 10. Shai's going to stay on the court, and he's fouled here on the other end. He's 2 for 4 at the line, 8 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. They get Porter for the foul, his first.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is so good at understanding the difference between when to go ahead and lean into the defender as he gets to that middle area of the floor, and when to stop, put the brakes on, and lean back. Anytime he senses that a defender is leaning in or that arm is in that zone where he's going to come up and through, he's going to draw the contact virtually every time.
He's become an elite scorer. 30 points per game or more, 3 consecutive seasons. He was the NBA scoring champ this year at about 33 points per game. He's averaging 28 in the playoffs, and he has 10 points tonight. Oklahoma City's lead is back to 5. Inside 4 minutes to go in the first half of Game 6. The Thunder up 3-2 in the series.
And you asked how they would deal with the foul trouble. They're going to go to a zone right here themselves, which is one way to try to protect. And Jokic, no problem getting the shot he wanted, unable to convert.
He immediately put both hands on his head in disbelief. He's 4 for 7 from the floor. Gilgeous-Alexander, step back 3. That's good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with his first 3-pointer of the game. He's catching fire here late in the first half.
You can't have less of a window than he just had against Aaron Gordon.
Jokic has Caruso on him again, so he goes to work, bounce underneath to Brown, missed the layup. Good defense, Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai out of there with it. He's got 10 points in the quarter. Working here on 2 defenders. And lost it out of bounds. Turnover by Shai.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right here. You got Jokic hovering, but look at how close Aaron Gordon is, how quickly Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets that from below his waist to the release point.
And a challenge by Mark Daigneault on the out-of-bounds play on the other end of the court. Ruled off of Gilgeous-Alexander. He believes that it was last touched by Denver. You see Brown knock it away there from Shai, and it looks like that was off Denver.
Upon review, it has been determined that Braun illegally contacted Gilgeous-Alexander on his wrist, causing him to lose control of the ball prior to going out of bounds. Therefore, this is a proximate foul. Oklahoma City will shoot 2 free throws and will play off.
That's a new rule this year on out-of-bounds calls. You can go back and look to see if there's a proximate foul, and clearly, even though the ball did in that angle, initially the other angle, baseline angle, hard to tell who it went off of, but there clearly you could see off of Gilgeous-Alexander, but they ruled the illegal contact by Brown caused the ball to go out of bounds.
And that's an alert second row of OKC staff to get that, because sometimes you're going to make the challenge not just based on who touched it last. Now you have the ability, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander said it immediately. He was pointing to his arm that he got raked across the wrist. That's enough to get that proximate foul, reverse the call, and now you have an opportunity to get 2 free throws.
14 points for Gilgeous-Alexander, 8 in the last minute. Missed the second free throw. He's Missed 3 free throws in this game. 90% shooter during the season. Led the league in made free throws. Jamal Murray back on the court. Critical 3-minute stretch here for Denver. Trying to keep its season alive. Trailing by 9. Its largest deficit of the game. Jokic against Holmgren, going right at his chest. Spinning. Throws it up. Missed the shot, but he was fouled. It's on Holmgren. That's his first.
And for Chet Holmgren, I imagine this is a lot like what it would feel like to wrestle a grizzly bear. He's holding on. Jokic feels all that contact, so he's just going to go ahead and get something up at the rim and earn 2.
Jokic misses a free throw. Halftime presented by Hyundai coming up with Malika Andrews, Perk, Bob Myers. They'll talk at length about this game and also look ahead to tomorrow night's Game 6 in the East between Boston and New York, with the Knicks looking to win that series. Jokic misses both free throws. Denver is now 8 of 13 at the line in an elimination game.
After a great start offensively, Denver now is completely stalled. They're just not getting the freedom of movement, ball movement, or shot making that they got in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Here's Porter. Missed the 3. Porter 1 for 3 from behind the arc, nearing 2 minutes to go. In the first half, Gilgeous-Alexander weaving through traffic. Out to Williams. Extra pass. Holmgren wide open. Buries a 3. First triple for Chet Holmgren. It's a 12-point lead for Oklahoma City.
All created by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's ability to split 2 defenders, get into the lane, and collapse the defense. From that point, it's a simple 2-on-1 read. 9-0
run right now by the Thunder. Brown walks back behind the line, answers with the triple. His second 3. He's got a team-high 12 points. We talked to him before the game. We asked, do you have to do more tonight because of the health of Murray? He said, no, I'm going to let the game come to me, and it has. A steal, and now Gilgeous-Alexander just got called for his 4th foul. A potential huge moment here with 1:29 to go in the half.
Yeah, it's a foul. And I understand the frustration if you're SGA. You know, you get stripped on the way up to get a shot. You just cannot make that play. You can't get your hands anywhere involved in that in a situation where you've got 3.
Jokic hits the first free throw, so Gilgeous-Alexander will come out for the final 89 seconds as Caruso checks in.
It's good hands right here. Christian Braun and Jokic look like they both get a piece, and you can see right there. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander reaches in, gets Jokic across the wrist.
12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists for Jokic. He's only averaging about 5 assists. I say only. For his standards, that's really low, considering he averaged about 10 during the regular season. But 5 in this series. Caruso, wild shot. Gordon with the backside board. Denver trying to make a move here in the final stages of the first half. Gordon slams it through. Denver back within 5 with a minute left.
One of the few transition opportunities, and Jokic did a great job of sealing the defense in the paint to create that driving lane for Gordon.
7-0 run. Offensive foul. Jalen Williams caught Jamal Murray in the face. David Adelman wants the officials to look at that for a possible flagrant foul. Second foul on Jalen Williams.
They're going to take a look at that without question. You have to, because it's elbow contact above the shoulders. Certainly don't think it's intentional, but when you have a wide base with your elbows and you swing through and you make contact.
The offensive foul assessed Williams will be reviewed for a potential flagrant foul.
Unnecessary physical contact is the definition of a flagrant penalty 1, which would be 2 shots in the ball.
Upon review, it has been determined that it was a normal basketball move with his forearm vertical. Therefore, this offensive foul was correctly judged offensive foul.
Quick review, quick decision, common foul, but it will be Denver ball.
Yeah, and I like it. You have to look at it because of the elbow contact to the face. But again, and I was about to say, you know, growing up, This is how you were taught when a guy was jamming you up on the catch to get them off you, was to swing that basketball around, and sometimes you're going to catch somebody with an elbow, so I like that.
It wasn't a violent swing. Understandably so, the ruling being a common foul.
And most importantly, it's a turnover, and Denver gets an opportunity here to cut into this lead.
Murray hasn't scored in the quarter, 11 in the first. Driving here, goes to the left hand. What a sweet move, hanging and finishing Jamal Murray. Denver back within 3. Gilgeous-Alexander can only watch on the bench with 4 fouls.
The beautiful body control to avoid the shot blocker.
Wallace missed the 3. Rebound Jokic. Quick outlet Murray. 9-second difference in the game and shot clocks. Denver won't go for the 2-for-1. Murray again drives. Missed the floater. And out of bounds off Oklahoma City. Now Denver with the shot clock off. Now they're going to put it back to 14. So 5.9-second difference in the clocks here. First time for Shea with 4 fouls in the first half of a game in almost 3 years. He picked up the 3rd with 4 minutes to go and stayed in the game until he picked up that 4th with about a minute left. Brown to tie it. Got it! 12-0 run by Denver, and Christian Brown has been the offensive spark. He's got 15. 8 seconds to go in the half. Williams driving. 3 seconds left. Fires to Dort with 1, launches and hits. Lou Dort beats the buzzer with a rainbow 3. And that ends a Denver 12-0 run to give the Thunder a 3-point lead at the break. Clearly got it away in time. Lou Dort, who hit 3 fourth-quarter threes to win Game 5, a huge Game 6 3 at the Horn.
The NBA Conference Semifinals, delivered by Chipotle on ESPN, are brought to you by the Starbucks Coffee Company, Google, proud sponsor of the NBA, and Burger King. At BK, have it your way. You rule.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it that's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Your choices, your actions, that's what makes you who you are.
Welcome back to the NBA playoffs presented by Google. Conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. Denver trying to force a Game 7, which would be Sunday in Oklahoma City. Thunder trying to move on to the conference finals for the first time since 2016 and host Minnesota on Sunday afternoon. First half stats brought to you by Patron Tequila. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 14 points, but 4 personal fouls. Jokic, 4 of 7, so just 7 shot attempts, no threes. Jamal Murray, 11 of his 13 points came in the first quarter. Dave Pasch, Tim Legler, and Katie George with you. Well, Oklahoma City Legs had the best defense during the regular season. They got down 10 in this game, but their defense turned the game around as we look at our value play brought to you by McDonald's.
Yeah, but really after the first 10 minutes where Denver controlled the action offensively, got into a flow, OKC's defense got them the lead. Great rotations. This is OKC at their best. The weak side rotation, sink down on the big, forces an open floor turnover. And this is what Jokic has been seeing this entire series. You see 4 sets of defenders, now 5 in the paint, force the cross-court kick out, tremendous closeout, and then stay on your feet defensively on the contest. OKC with that surge in the second quarter to take the lead before Denver finished well to get this to a 3-point game.
Here's Katie.
Yeah, Dave, Christian Braun, who leads the Nuggets with 15 points, told us pregame he thought he played really well in the regular season. Couldn't have gone better. But coming into the playoffs, he expected his scoring to go down because he'd have such a big assignment on defense. To this point, he's been happy with his defense, but he said, I have to shoot the ball better in the playoffs. I have to shoot it better, and I have 2 games to turn that around. So far, so good, guys.
Yeah, he hit a 3 to tie the game late. Lou Dort then made a corner 3 with a second to go to give Oklahoma City a 3-point lead at halftime. Here's Porter, quiet first half, battling that left shoulder injury, and that was way short by about 3 feet on that teardrop.
Yeah, trying to make something happen right there. He also had an easy reversal to Jokic with nobody guarding him at the top of the key.
Blocked by Porter on the 3-point try from Holmgren. Jokic, 8 rebounds, 3 assists to go with the 12 points. Puts it on the floor here, hangs and finishes. Got to expect him to be more aggressive, looking to score here in the third quarter.
What a tough finish that was as the second defender, Jalen Williams, comes at him as he's going to the lane. He just steps, goes back to his right hand with a tough short floater.
In the corner, Jalen Williams lets it fly. Misfire on the triple try. Into the open court, Jokic waits for his teammate Jamal Murray. 8th year together. Murray in the paint, pulls up, around, and down to give Denver the lead back.
A similar start to what we had at the beginning of the game, where Denver's first 3 trips, a lot of freedom.
That one almost brought rain on that 3 by Dort. He missed it. Got 8 points, 2 threes. Murray blows past Holmgren and fouled by Holmgren. Murray a little slow to get up. Holmgren picks up his second foul. Murray listed as questionable coming into today due to illness.
Very similar to how we started. You know, Denver getting out early with some opportunities. Jamal Murray was aggressive at the start of the game. Aggressive here again, getting to that little short pull-up.
Got a timeout on the floor by Oklahoma City. Back with free throws after this.
Welcome back to the conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. Alex Caruso is a communicative player, and Mark Daigneault says it's not warm. He's intense. It's continuous. He's talking in every huddle on every play, so it can be seen as a lot. But Caruso has so much credibility on the team. He's so present and competitive that he can deliver the message however he wants because his teammates trust him. He's had a really big impact on this team, guys, since joining the Thunder in the offseason, Dave.
And a really big impact on this game despite not scoring. He has 2 assists, a block. When he came into the game in the first quarter, they were down 10, and you could tell there was a different vibe with him on the floor.
Yeah, he's been a big part of OKC's runs in this series. It seems like he's got his fingerprints on it. When he's on the floor, good things are happening for OKC.
Murray now with 16 points, 3 of 4 from the line. Oklahoma City yet to score. Yet in the second half, Jamal Murray was in a little pain after that hard fall. Wincing in pain over on the bench during that last timeout. So going back to the end of the second quarter, it's an 18-3 run. The only points for the Thunder. Again, that Dort buzzer beater. Lead back to 3 for Denver. Gilgeous-Alexander with a sidestep and score, plus a foul. Chance to tie it at the line with Brown picking up his second personal.
And Christian Braun told us before the game that this is the toughest guy he's had to guard in the NBA right there. And this is why. No matter how well you play him off the initial move, he's always got a counter with his handle and his lean back away from you after he hits you with the bump. That time, Christian Braun draped on him. It's good defense, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has an answer for it.
Gilgeous-Alexander now 6 of 9 at the line. MVP runner-up last year. Perhaps the favorite this year. We'll know soon enough. Finalist along with Jokic and Giannis. Here's Murray for 3. And it's no good. Rebound Holmgren.
A subtle thing there, but Lou Dort just coming over the top and waving his hand on that release, I think was enough to force Jamal Murray to miss that shot.
Gilgeous-Alexander playing with 4 personal fouls. 17 points, 5 of 7 from the floor. They swing it to Dort. Into the paint. Dort stops, pops, hits. Lou Dort gives the Thunder the lead back. Dort with 10 points. Here's Gordon on the other end. Quiet, just 5 shot attempts, 5 points. Jokic in the paint, going at Holmgren and floating it up and home.
So smart. Jokic that time didn't wait for the defense to come after he catches the ball. He felt where Holmgren was, used his leverage to get to an easy one.
Canning the three is Gilgeous-Alexander. He's got 20 points. That beautiful sidestep or step back. So hard to guard. He glides on those. Got great length. Really hard to challenge that shot. Pass in the paint to Jokic. Kick out Brown. Back to the Joker. Porter. He'll rise. Way off on the three.
I just think if Jokic is going to flash to the ball like that and get one-on-one coverage against Hartenstein, he needs to attack him and try to earn something at the line or get something at the rim.
Williams missed the three. He's 3 for 11 from the floor. 0 for 3 from 3. Thunder by 3. Gordon on the back down. Finds Murray. 3 no good. Long rebound. Murray gets it. Now Porter will try it and hit it. You had to wonder with that left shoulder injury how much of the shooting issues are physical, how much are mental, but that one was good.
Yeah, I think he's feeling pain every time he goes to get that basketball up into the shooting position as OKC knocks down a 3 to regain the lead. And so I think Michael Porter Jr. is just having a problem concentrating through the pain that he's feeling. Did a good job on that last one, staying with it.
David Adelman says that pain's different every game. Brown's 3, not close. Holmgren has 8 rebounds now, 14 points, 2 3-pointers. Thunder back up 3. Gilgeous-Alexander on the baseline. No basket. Foul on the floor on Brown. That's 3 on him and 2 on Denver here in the quarter.
Yeah, SGA, he sees right here as he came up the floor, he saw that Denver was really slow getting back and positioning themselves along the baseline. So he decided to go ahead and attack. One defender trying to turn that corner, draws the foul.
He's averaging 28 points per game here in the series. He's had some inefficient nights, but not tonight. 8 shot attempts, 20 points. Caruso's 3 not there. Porter with the rebound. Denver trying to push tempo here. Brown trying to free up Murray with a screen. Murray's doubled. Murray got Hartenstein on him now. Jokic in the high post to the corner. Brown out to Murray. Open 3. No good. Offensive rebound. Brown back up and in. Christian Brown with 17 points. Third-year player out of Kansas. And a foul as Caruso took a shot from Murray. That's 3 on Jamal Murray. Arguing the call with Kevin Scott.
I was going to say, if Murray didn't hit him, this is an Academy Award-winning performance, because he's saying he didn't hit him, but he clearly did. As Caruso sets that screen, Murray's elbow comes up, catches Caruso in the chin.
Oklahoma City going to substitute a couple of players. Wiggins will come in along with Wallace. Cason Wallace was great in that first half. 10 points, 2 threes, had 3 steals.
And this is earlier than you would ever see SGA come out in the third quarter, but you can see Mark Daigneault's philosophy right now is to try to buy as many minutes as he can before he picks up that 5th foul.
Wiggins 3, no good. Rebound Jokic. That's 9 boards for the Joker. Denver with possession, down 1. 5 minutes gone by, third quarter. Swing to Murray. Lob underneath. Gordon in traffic. Touched it last, out of bounds to Oklahoma City. Tried to throw it off a Thunder defender.
Well, the crowd thought there was contact there on Gordon as he was trying to save that basketball, but I just think that's 2 guys fighting for the ball. I like the no call there.
Denver staying with that zone. Caruso bounces underneath. Hartenstein with the slam. Caruso continues to have an impact. Just the second basket for Hartenstein. He played much of that first half in foul trouble with 3. Porter tries again, around, and it falls. Michael Porter Jr. with a long 2. It's a 2-pointer, so it's 74-73 Oklahoma City. Williams back to work. Hartenstein again, reverse jam this time.
Well, they're just allowing too much penetration from the top. And now you have difficult decisions for the backline defender, and Jokic, when to step up, and when he does, you've got cutters along the baseline.
Count that one and a foul. Murray knifing through the defense, muscles it up. He'll go to the line to try to tie the game and complete a three-point play.
Yeah, Jamal Murray staying with this right here. Great job at the last second, stepping through. Gets between two defenders, neither a shot blocker or a big, so he felt like he could absorb the contact, get to the other side of the rim.
Murray completes the three-point play. He's got 20 points now, 7 here in the third quarter. Game is tied midway through the third. Oklahoma City leads the series 3-2. If there is a game 7, it would be Sunday on ABC in Oklahoma City. Otherwise, it's game 1, Thunder Wolves, Sunday on ABC. Wiggins downhill, blew the layup, but Hartenstein slams it over Jokic.
Recurring theme right here for Denver defensively, that they're just not stopping the ball with their outer shell. And now that's 3 baskets at the rim, all caused by penetration.
Thunder back up 2. Caruso guarding Murray 30 feet away. Gordon's got a mismatch. Smaller Wallace on him. Shot clock down to 4. Murray drives the lane, got caught in the air. Brown catches the air ball, and a foul call before the 24-second violation on Oklahoma City. They'll look at it to make sure the foul occurred before the violation by Denver.
We will review this foul to determine if the foul occurred before or after the expiration of the shot clock.
Third team foul, second personal if it stands. Can't see the clock there or the light.
Upon review, it has been confirmed that the illegal contact occurred prior to expiration of the shot clock. Therefore, the foul remains 2 free throws.
So free throws for Christian Braun. See the foul coming before the clock hit 0.
And Christian Braun now with 7 rebounds in this game, and he's had a couple of big offensive rebounds here in the last couple of minutes. One a putback, and that time an opportunity to get 2 free throws just before a shot clock violation.
7 rebounds to go with those 17 points, second most in his postseason career. Take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. Game 6 tomorrow night with the Knicks and Celtics from New York. Boston winning last night. Now the Celtics look to force a game 7. Doubleheader on ABC Saturday for the WNBA tip-off. Aces are at New York, and Indiana Caitlin Clark hosting Chicago. For more, go to NBA.com or the NBA app. Brown gets the bounce on the second free throw, and the game is tied at 78. Gilgeous-Alexander staying on the bench with those 4 personal fouls. 5 minutes to go here in the third. Jalen Williams struggling tonight. 3 of 11, just 6 points. He was an all-star this year. Wiggins in the corner, shot clock down to 5. Hartenstein looking for a guard, shovels it. Wallace, 3, way off. Almost batted in by Hartenstein. Jokic hit the deck. Brown out of there with it.
That's the best defensive possession Denver's had in the last 5 trips. Containment, close out, and secure the rebound.
Porter off the screen, front rimmed it. Cleared by Williams. Williams races across the timeline all the way to the cup. Missed the shot. Long rebound, Gordon. Thunder get back, though. Jokic has Jalen Williams on him. Now Hartenstein coming over to help. Gordon on the back down. Turnaround jump shot, and it's not there. Just 5 points for Gordon on 2 of 6 from the floor. Here's Williams. Good screen set up. Williams couldn't pay it off. Jokic with his 10th rebound.
Jokic to this point, just 9 field goal attempts, has not attempted a 3. It's hard to imagine with Denver being able to win this game unless he's got a bigger imprint as a scorer over the last 15 minutes.
Spinning, baseline, puts it up and in. Gorgeous move by Nikola Jokic. Denver back on top by 2.
And didn't take any chances that there will be a double team coming. He spins to the baseline away from the traffic for that jump hook.
Hartenstein hands it off Williams. Shot clock inside of 10. Wiggins on the spot up three. No good. Jokic with rebound number 11. Jokic 7 of 10 from the floor. 3 of 3 here in the quarter. 18 points. He also has 5 assists. Jokic off the Gordon screen. And Jokic has Caruso fronting him, and they're going to call Caruso for the foul. What a smart play by Jokic to lean into Caruso and basically initiate the contact. First on Caruso, 4th team foul.
And Caruso trying to get into a front position because he understands Jokic is going to try to walk him into the post, but I like this by Jokic. He sees Wallace on top, and he takes one more dribble to the middle. Cason Wallace is going to be in his lap. So instead, he decides to go ahead and operate against one defender, gets to the baseline.
Russell Westbrook in the game, had a rough first half. Brown drives, Westbrook in the paint, goes to the bucket, missed the layup. Inside 3 to play in the third. Denver by 2. Murray getting a lot of minutes on the court here in the third quarter. And that lob way over the head of Chet Holmgren, who gets contacted by Murray. And they're going to say out of bounds. Denver possession. 2:41 on the clock. Third quarter. Thunder looking to advance, but trailing by 2.
The NBA Conference semifinals on ESPN are delivered by Chipotle. Real ingredients, real flavor. Chipotle, for real.
Don't miss a playoff moment with the NBA app. Download the app today for the latest scores, highlights, and behind-the-scenes access to all the drama. Dave Pasch, Tim Legler, Katie George in Denver. You see there Chet Holmgren touching it last. There was contact from Jamal Murray, but not enough for a defensive foul. So it is going to be Denver ball. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's back in. Jalen Williams on the bench. One of the reasons they're down, yes, 9 assists, but 3 for 13 for your second best player, an all-star this year. They need more help for Gilgeous-Alexander.
Jalen Williams has struggled with his shooting throughout the entire series. And SGA on the bench, you're right. Who's going to lead their offense?
Again, SGA back on the floor. 4 fouls in the game. Just played a few minutes here in the third. Jokic missed the 3. That was his first attempt from behind the 3-point stripe. A second chance opportunity. Brown, he'll fire. Miss a 3. And Jalen Williams, the other Jalen, tracks it down. 2 minutes to go. 2-point game here in the third. Gilgeous-Alexander, 20 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. Drives, reverse layup, good off the window.
That's just too easy. He comes down, just gets one brush screen, and gets all the way to the other side of the rim for a reverse layup.
That ties the game at 80. Inside 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Strawther for 3. Julian Strawther with his first points of the game.
He is a scorer and a shooter, but he hasn't had many opportunities in this series.
Now a Strawther foul on the other end as Dort went sliding to the ground. First in the last 2 minutes on Denver. And the first 3 for Denver's bench in the game.
Played in 4 games in the series, only 3.5 points, but he stepped into that one with a lot of confidence. And here you see their feet get tangled up as Dort's going to set that screen.
Gilgeous-Alexander driving, goes to the left hand. Layup no good. Holmgren swatted by Jokic. Ahead to Murray. Challenged by Williams, and Murray scores. Denver pushes its lead to 5 with a minute to go in the third.
Oh, what velocity on that outlet pass. Was able to get Murray in stride out ahead of the pack.
And an offensive foul called on Jalen Williams on the screen. That's his 4th. But how about Jamal Murray? 22 points, 9 in the quarter. Was listed as questionable. He's been sick since late last night. Played 30 minutes tonight trying to force a Game 7.
Well, you see Jokic right here with the block, secures the ball. And look at that outlet pass on a rope. Murray with some contact on that reverse. He was emphatic that should have been an and one.
Lou Dort will greet him at midcourt. Murray around two screens. Holmgren picks him up. Murray keeps the bounce. Now to the corner. Strother again. Hit another one. The 23-year-old who played sparingly during the regular season coming up huge in Game 6. It's an 8-0 Denver run. Empty possession for the Thunder. 4-second difference in the game and shot clocks here at the end of the third. Murray with 6 on the shot clock. Draws Hartenstein on the switch. Fires underneath. Strother puts it in. Westbrook falls down. 1 second left. Shea can't get the bounce, but a foul. And Gilgeous-Alexander will go to the line. A 10-0 run, though, by Denver. 8 of those 10 points by second-year pro Julian Strother.
And you see OKC getting extended on the perimeter, looking at Murray and Jokic. Strother with a great cut and delivery. SGA just getting that ball end to end quickly, doing everything he can to draw contact.
Strother played in just 3 games in the first round. He's played in 5 of the 6 games this round. He's averaging just 2 points per game in the playoffs, but he has 8 points here. Meanwhile, Gilgeous-Alexander knocks down a free throw. 0.6 of a second left in the third.
Talked about the supporting cast being everything for Denver. They had to play better. You've gotten it out of Christian Braun. You've gotten it out of Michael Porter Jr. And now you get really timely contribution out of Strother.
A standing ovation as he goes to the bench, and Gordon checks in for the final 0.6 of a second. SGA got them both. 8 of 11 at the line, 24 points. Jokic 3-quarter court. And the third quarter comes to an end. Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets trying to force a Game 7. They have an 8-point lead with 1 quarter to go here in the Mile High City. Tonight's Star Watch brought to you by Nintendo Switch 2. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, incredibly efficient night. Just 2 assists, but 24 points. Jamal Murray with 22. It's an 8-point lead for Denver, trying to force Game 7. Fourth quarter is next.
It's time for tonight's Access, brought to you by Snapdragon. We're on the sidelines with David Adelman. David, what did you like most about the way you guys closed out the third quarter?
Well, we got some help. You know, Julian made some big shots, made a great back cut off their pressure. Obviously, we took care of the ball later in that quarter. If we do that, get shots to the rim, we'll be in a good place. But again, we've been in this situation before with these guys. Take care of the ball, defensive rebound, quality offensive possessions.
Thanks for the time, David.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And their defense, Katie, really good. They held Oklahoma City to 21 third quarter points after 61 in the first half.
He referenced twice there taking care of the ball. Only 8 turnovers on the night, only leading to 11 points for OKC. They've turned that around for the rest of the series.
Missed 3, but a second chance opportunity. Caruso can't find the bottom of the net. Rebound, Gordon. Jokic on the bench to start the final frame. Gilgeous-Alexander on the court. Peyton Watson missed the dunk. Offensive rebound. And Gordon and Hartenstein get tangled up. They're going to call a foul on Hartenstein. That's 4 on him. So both Hartenstein and Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams from Arkansas with 4 fouls.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon with inside position right there. Hartenstein really just caught in a bad spot at a bad time. As Gordon had that basketball, his arm was already coming over his shoulder, an easy call.
Julian Strother staying in the game. He had 8 points there off the bench, had 9 in a game in this playoffs. 3-pointer from Jamal Murray goes down. He's got 25. Denver has its largest lead.
And you see in his eyes right now, he's got great bounce, and he was looking for that and hunting that shot well before the ball came to him.
Wiggins can't answer. Oklahoma City shooting under 30% from 3 here in Game 6. And Denver extending the lead with Jokic getting some rest. Murray, meanwhile, has played 33 minutes. That ties for the most on the team. Strawther feeling it. Shot clock down to 5. Murray wants a clear out, driving on Wallace. Goes to the left scoop, wouldn't fall, loose ball. And it's a shot clock violation.
Yeah, you could tell when a shooter is feeling it. As he was coming out and backpedaling to the three-point line, he already had his hands set. If that ball was swung to him, he knew he was going to get up into his rhythm.
Keep in mind, too, the last 2 games, Oklahoma City outscored Denver 63-37 in the fourth quarter. Again, Denver has a double-digit fourth quarter lead. Can they hang on? That will help. The rejection by Westbrook. Out of bounds. Thunder will keep with 13 on the shot clock.
Yeah, continuing to put pressure on the top of this defense. SGA gets downhill, but he is surrounded, and Westbrook hangs in the air long enough to make a play.
Gilgeous-Alexander, great look, and Caruso with the layup. 93-84 Denver. If the Nuggets win Game 7 Sunday ABC in Oklahoma City, if the Thunder win Game 1 Western Conference Finals, Thunder, Wolves Sunday ABC. Oklahoma City's last trip to the conference finals 2016. Westbrook and Durant's final run with the Thunder. Westbrook with a shot clock at 3. Passes inside to Watson. Westbrook couldn't get the tip. And it's cleared by Wiggins. And here go the Thunder in transition. Caruso got it to go. What a play with Watson trying to swat it.
Well, Denver got caught with 3 guys on the offensive boards. 2 of them go to the ground. That created numbers for OKC. Great decision to throw it ahead, and then Caruso finishes strong.
Murray goes away from the screen. Gordon on the post up, knocked away by Jalen Williams. Wiggins again pushing ahead to Williams. Watson with a great play, gets the swat. One of the elite shot blockers in the league. Strawther takes it to the cup. Westbrook with the follow. Lead back to 9 for Denver.
And there's that energy and effort we said we continue to play with, and Westbrook finally gets something positive to happen with that putback.
And then not a smart foul on Caruso. He blew the layup and then fouls Gordon about 40 feet away from the basket on the other end. Second team foul.
Great play. I mean, you felt this slipping a little bit for Denver. Offensively having some issues. OKC on a run, and Peyton Watson, well, that is so difficult to do. He lets him go in front of him and still has the length to get there with the block shot. And there's Russell Westbrook. Again, you know he's going to be relentless. Finds the open pocket at the rim for the putback.
Good defense by Jalen Williams, but couldn't rip it away from Gordon. Gordon will rise and miss the 3. Watson keeps it alive, but Dort has it now for the Thunder. Gilgeous-Alexander, 24 points. His team down 9. 8.5 to go. Fires underneath. Wallace spinning, missing. And Murray's got it. Jokic at the scorer's table. He'll check in at the next dead ball. Murray on the back down. Westbrook. No good. Too strong on the 3, but Watson with the offensive board. Strawther driving. Gets down the lane. And the foul on the Strawther drive. He'll go to the line for 2. Playing very confident basketball right now.
Absolutely. Strawther, gets those 3 shots to go to close out the quarter. So he is a natural scorer. He's feeling confident, putting pressure downhill. Gets fouled, and again, you see Westbrook would have been there trying to put that back in, but Strawther very aggressive in this moment.
Foul on Dort. That's a 3rd team foul. Strawther at 21 points in a game during the regular season. Hits the free throw to give him 9 points tonight. We've got another Game 6 tomorrow night on ESPN. The Celtics and the Knicks New York up 3-2. Coverage begins NBA countdown 7 Eastern. The Pacers await the winner. Can Boston do it again without Jason Tatum, but this time on the road?
Well, they just bought Jokic 4 minutes of rest. I actually thought he was going to go to him at about 9.5 minutes left in the fourth. But because Denver was able to get some points on the board, they got him an additional 1.5 minutes of rest.
This game was tied at 80. Julian Strawther since then has 10 points. The Thunder have 6. Jokic called for a foul as Gilgeous-Alexander hits the deck. First on Denver here in the quarter, and the third on Jokic.
Contact. He reached in with his left hand and grabbed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's arm. And I think he really just lost his balance, but there was definitely contact.
Shot clock down to 5. Holmgren out to Dort. Dort's 3 in and out. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Holmgren. Denver ball.
But it's suspense when the ball's in the air from Dort. It's a 24-foot shot, but it travels 1.5 miles. So everybody's got to sit and wait to see what the result is.
And he's 2 for 6. Westbrook fires underneath. Watson, nice catch on that bullet pass. Can't bank in the turnaround. And Holmgren with a rebound. But the Thunder 9 of 32, just 28% from 3. 0 for 3 here in the quarter. Just 2 made threes in the half. Gilgeous-Alexander from the mid-range. He's got 26.
Boy, if he gets a side to himself, that's what he's going to do every time. Drive hard baseline. He bumps you with the off shoulder. It gets to that lean back jumper.
Dort called for a foul. Just his second personal, but that's the 4th team foul on the Thunder.
Well, you know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will not go quietly. Eyes light up when he's got a side to himself. Gets one to go, and the Thunder got some work to do.
The NBA Conference semifinals on ESPN are delivered by Chipotle. Real ingredients, real flavor. Chipotle, for real. And in part by Doritos, for the bold.
The assist of the game is brought to you by State Farm.
We were all wondering what Jamal Murray would look like once we found out he was questionable to even play. What a lift he's given Denver. Playing strong at the rim, in transition, and then here showing you some great footwork as a screener. And then watch the way he backpedals into this 3, gets his weight going forward, and steps into a 3.
David Adelman told us we didn't even know after the first 6 minutes how much he could play. Jamal Murray's played 35 minutes. That was him a moment ago on the bench, but back on the floor with a team-high 25 points. Jokic rested the first 4 minutes and 7 seconds. He's come back fresh, and Jokic from deep gives Denver a 12-point lead.
And what a time to hit his first 3. Only 3 attempts on the night. Not a lot of space there, but felt comfortable going up and over the top.
Largest lead of the game. The Thunder have just 27 points in this half. They can't make a shot from deep. Dort misses. Jokic ahead to Brown. Midway point of the 4th quarter. Denver trying to force a game 7, which would be in Oklahoma City Sunday. Jokic up and down. The 4th quarter has killed the Nuggets this series, but not tonight. Their lead is now 14.
Jokic exerting his will right now as a scorer, understanding his team needs him to close the deal.
Wow, Oklahoma City 2 for 17 from 3 this half after that air ball.
Yeah, he tricks you sometimes when he shoots these threes because it's just so relaxed and comfortable. And once that second defender clears out, Hartenstein can't get there in time. Again, look at the hands, holds off the defender, catches it with one hand, and then that soft one-footed jumper.
Brown, what a play. Jalen Williams rips it away and blew the dunk. Williams just 3 for 15. It's just not the Thunder's night. A lot of contact on that drive. Out of bounds, last touch by the Thunder. Jalen Williams is 1 for his last 13. Yes, 9 assists, but only 6 points. Gilgeous-Alexander doing his part, 26, but not much help elsewhere. Murray around the screen, behind the back, throws it into the backcourt. Unforced error that time by Denver.
Yeah, Jokic just really was leaning one direction when that ball was thrown to his right hand. He was already stepping in toward the three-point line with that left shoulder, couldn't recover in time.
Timeout on the floor. Denver 5-17 away from forcing a Game 7 on Sunday.
The W is bigger than ever. So who's gonna go out and own it?
When Game 6 concludes in Denver, it's Nicole Briscoe and David Lloyd with SportsCenter. Perk will react to tonight's Game 6. He'll talk about the Game 6 tomorrow on ESPN. Celtics Knicks. Concern for the Capitals. New Bears head coach Ben Johnson reacting to an interesting report about Caleb Williams, plus PGA Championship highlights and more coming up. You look at the fourth quarter tonight, different stories so far for Denver. It's helped that Oklahoma City's missed 12 consecutive three-point attempts. Dave Pasch, Tim Legler, Katie George, 5:17 remaining. If Denver can force a Game 7, it will be on Sunday, so a couple of days off, and then Sunday afternoon on ABC, 3:30 Eastern. Gilgeous-Alexander out to Holmgren. They need it. They don't get it. Rebounded by Strawther and fouled by Caruso. That will send Strawther to the line as the Thunder over the limit.
And that three by Holmgren was by design. They got to that out of the timeout. They knew that there was going to be space on the perimeter off of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's penetration. See Caruso with the foul right there. Denver doing a nice job of having everybody in the paint. Sometimes you can't secure it. You just tip it and hope that a teammate can secure it. And that's what happened for Strawther.
10 points in 16 minutes off the bench for Julian Strawther. Knocks down another free throw. The lead is 15, the largest of the game. A 1 seed has already been eliminated, the Cleveland Cavaliers. After a 60-plus win season, they were knocked out a couple of nights ago by Indiana. The 1 seed in the West, Oklahoma City, trying to close it out tonight, but may have to come down to that final game on Sunday on their home floor if they can't mount a comeback. Three-pointer Caruso, finally. The Thunder get one to go after missing 13 straight.
I know stylistically this game has been played more to Denver's liking. They were averaging 40 three-point attempts a game through the first 5. Just 31 tonight. Points in the paint up as well.
Jokic, oh, what a pass! No look to Christian Braun. That was some sorcery by Nikola Jokic. Lead back to 15. Holmgren with a slam.
And one thing Denver's got to be careful of here is just not letting OKC score too quickly in the clock when you're trying to protect this lead. But that last pass by Jokic to Brown, first game in the series that Jokic has more than 6 assists. Finally got his 7th.
He also has 14 rebounds and 23 points. Holmgren got dazed because of the contact, and Jokic going right back at him, just backing him down. Look at him move him out of the way. Strawther, of course, the Julian Strawther game.
Now, a big part of Nikola Jokic's game, playmaking, making guys better. The look away. Christian Braun now played enough with him to know that weak side baseline cut is going to be there. And again, keeping his dribble, forcing the second defender to come, knowing all along he wanted to go to the hot hand, Julian Strawther.
Strawther has 15 points in the game all this half. He's outscored Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 15-12 this half. Holmgren corner three, short. Rebound Brown. Denver ball up 16. 3.5 to go. Jokic driving out to Brown. Shot clock down to 7. Jokic doubled. Strawther with 3. Strawther gathers, leans in, fires. Missed that one. And Isaiah Joe, who's barely played tonight and in the series, out there because they need somebody to make a three. Gilgeous-Alexander gets that one. 14-point game. And David Adelman doesn't like this, so he calls a timeout. 3:11 on the clock. You look at the timeout, foul, and challenge situation. 3:11 to go. Denver 109, Oklahoma City 95. The Thunder led by 3 at halftime on a Lou Dort buzzer beater to end the second quarter. But Denver with a great response, especially in this quarter. A frame that has plagued them, really cost them a couple of games in this series. Trying to force a Game 7, which should be Sunday afternoon on ABC, back at Paycom Center in OKC. Denver's made 12 threes. You said, Legs, at the top of the telecast, it can't just be Jokic, and with the uncertainty about Murray's health, it has to be other guys. But I don't know if anybody thought it'd be Julian Strawther.
I'll tell you who did, Julian Strawther, because I think he believes that every time he takes the floor, because he's a very confident shooter, and the opportunities were there, and he jumped on it.
Also, Porter played a little better. Good defense. Caruso the steal. Here's Joe, and he gets the dunk in transition. They've had a couple of misses and empty possessions in transition, but that one goes.
And the one thing you just can't do right now if you're Denver's turn it over. You know, you need to not necessarily try to eat clock, but you cannot turn the basketball over. You got to get something up on that backboard.
Strawther lost his footing. Shot clock at 6. Jokic spins, turns it over again. Numbers for the Thunder. SGA to the cup. It's a 10-point game.
This is what Oklahoma City can do to you. They get up into you when you're handling the basketball. Quickness all over the floor. They anticipate when you come out of a spin, as well as any team in this league, to run a second guy at you.
Jokic fumbles it away, gathers again, gets in the lane, underneath to Brown. And a foul is called on Oklahoma City on Caruso, and they're over the limit. That foul occurring with about 7 to shoot. Jokic will be at the free throw line.
Well, Jokic made sure he wasn't going to turn it over that time. He's just going to barrel his way down the lane. Gets to, you see his arm hit on the pass, and I tell you what, after that whistle, Nikola Jokic walked away and did everything he could to get his breathing under control.
Played 39 minutes. That one rattles around and drops. He's got 24 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. Westbrook checks back in. Strawther to the bench.
Yeah, some teams get back into games with their three-point shooting. That's why big leads in this league disappear often. OKC does it differently. They can turn up the pressure to such an extent on your ball handlers. They can force multiple turnovers in a short period of time, and that's how they get back in it in the open floor.
Jokic gets them both. So he's got 25. Jamal Murray with 25. Murray's played 40 minutes. Holmgren driving, going right at Jokic. Count the basket and a foul. So a chance for the Thunder to make it a 9-point game with 1:53 on the clock.
Nice job by Holmgren that time. You know, he attacked Jokic when he was closing out by going opposite in the direction in which Jokic was running at him. Big guy like Jokic's gonna have a tough time shifting his weight and cutting him off.
4th foul on Jokic. Holmgren trying to complete the three-point play. We've seen some crazy stuff in the postseason with comebacks. See the Indiana Pacers twice. They did it in the first round and the second round to make it to the conference finals. And now it's a 9-point game here in Denver in game 6. It was 16 just a couple minutes ago. It hits the leg. Caruso gets on the ground, and then that was kicked by Gordon. And also Gordon is grabbing his left hamstring. Boy, that was a fortunate play for Denver that was kicked by Gordon. Otherwise, that was going to be a dunk for the Thunder in transition.
And all of that was started with up-the-floor pressure and denying Jamal Murray the inbounds pass, so you were forced to throw the ball into a secondary ball handler.
3 turnovers in a minute by Denver. SGA driving into traffic, swing it. Williams, they need it. He misses again. He's 3 for 16. Defensive rebound, Murray. Just 6 points for Jalen Williams. That would have made it a 6-point game. Westbrook attacking, gets the layup. 5-point swing. Gilgeous-Alexander gets the layup, but they can't keep trading twos with just outside a minute to go. Jokic fouled in midcourt, and he'll shoot 2 more.
And Russell Westbrook makes a great decision here. One way to beat extended pressure is pick a direction and just go. OKC is so extended, trying to pressure all over the floor. There's just not a lot of weak side help if you can beat your man off the dribble and get to the rim.
Mark Daigneault is challenging the ruling on the floor of a foul on Caruso, which is his 5th. Back in a moment.
Oklahoma City has called a timeout to initiate the coach's challenge on the foul assessed Caruso.
Unsuccessful challenge by Mark Daigneault. Foul on Alex Caruso, and so Nikola Jokic at the line for 2 more free throws. Denver is 1 minute and 10 seconds away from forcing a Game 7. It would be the 3rd straight series for the Denver Nuggets that has gone 7. They beat the Clippers in Game 7 here at home in the first round, and at home last year in the conference semifinals, they blew a 20-point lead and lost to Minnesota in Game 7. This one would be on the road in Oklahoma City Sunday afternoon on ABC. "26 points for the 3-time MVP. First player ever to finish in the top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists in a single season. Historic regular season, but he might not win the MVP because this guy, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the front runner. Jalen Williams in the corner. Skip to Caruso. Caruso for 3. It's good. 115-107. And Westbrook will call a timeout. That will leave Denver with 1. Oklahoma City has 1 as well.
Really good defensive possession by Denver. They were all over the floor. Multiple closeouts. And eventually, no choice here but for Caruso to let this fly. And he's not nearly as good from the 3 off the dribble, but he knocks that one down with good contest there by Jamal Murray.
Denver has had a lot of trouble just getting into its offensive set. Also having trouble inbounding the ball at multiple times here. Anything you can do strategically to change that, to help out your inbounder?
Well, one thing, they like to have Jokic inbound the ball a lot in this situation because they trust him so much. He's a great passer. He's got size. He can get it anywhere on the court. But I also think I would like to design something where he is the first recipient of the inbound, because where the ball goes next is going to determine that possession. There's going to be an initial trap. I don't think OKC fouls immediately. I would like Jokic to receive the inbounds pass so he can then get it to point B, get the ball up the floor and away from this pressure.
And is there enough time if you're the Thunder to play this out, or do you have to foul after the first or second pass at this point?
I think you get one trap, and they're so good at the way they play passing lanes with all of their speed. A trap, try to read a passing lane on that first pass. If you can't get it, then you take a foul. All of that will take no more than about 5 seconds.
You can throw it into the backcourt here because of the timeout. They're inbounding the ball in the front court, and it is Jokic that's the recipient of the pass, and he gets fouled. He'll go back to the line. Jalen Williams called for the foul.
Yeah, and he has a look on his face. I don't think they were necessarily trying to foul. They were trying to do exactly what they did. This is a really tough spot for Jokic to end up with the ball in a trap. But he's so big, and he can get it to the weak side if he had to. That's why I like the ball coming into him to make free throws, or out of the trap, get it to the other side of the floor.
Shai coming back on the court. There was a critical juncture at the end of the first half. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander picked up his 4th foul. At that point, Denver was already making a move. They were down 12. But when he went to the bench, the Thunder couldn't score, and Denver ended up tying the game before a Dort 3 at the buzzer. This game was tied then at 80 apiece until Julian Strawther went off. Jokic makes them both back to a 10-point game. Thunder has to hurry. 50 seconds left. Joe gets some airspace. 3 is off the mark. Rebound Brown. And a foul. 40 seconds away from a Game 7. And the crowd here in Denver, a standing ovation for the 2023 NBA champs. They like their team's chances in a one-game scenario. Who should be more nervous going into that game? A team that's been there like Denver, a 68-win team like Oklahoma City that hasn't been there.
Well, you play all year to earn that game on your home court. They did that. That home crowd is electric. They only lost 6 games in the regular season there, but it's a young team. They got knocked out in the second round a year ago. They'll be facing that level of pressure at home. And you've got some guys that haven't shot the ball well, particularly tonight. And in the case of Jalen Williams, throughout the entire series, that are going to be asked now to make big shots in front of the home crowd, where there's going to be a lot of tension if you see guys string together some misses. So Denver's dealt with this. They're a champion. Oklahoma City trying to get there.
119-107. Oklahoma City has emptied the bench. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, by the way, has played in 1 Game 7, and that was in the bubble back in 2020. The Denver Nuggets with an impressive fourth quarter. Jamal Murray, playing through illness, goes for 42 minutes, scores 25 points. Nikola Jokic, 29 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. Really was aggressive in the second half after a quiet first half. But Julian Strawther, Denver's not here without the second-year pro out of Gonzaga, who played sparingly during the regular season, also dealt with some injuries, but was a star here tonight. We've got a Game 7 in the West.
Heaven knows, men know that I love you so much, Jamila. Ooh, yes I do. You left my world and left me so cold. Now I'm wondering how I'm gonna get you back. Hey, nasa napata mikirai, Jamila kiyape mun. Na dawo gida ban ga Jamila ba, na dawo gida ban ji muryanta ba. Hey, wayo, a neman mun Jamila. Ooh. Jamila, don Allah gida gida, babu abin da zai raba mu har abada. Jamila, zuciya na ɓaciwa. Gida gida, gida gida, gida gida. Ooh, no matter what people do or say, this love will never die. If I knew I never hurt you so bad, drinking so much, too much women.